Hi there mates, this is National Tech and the Gong. In this video, we're going to look at the Kia EV9. Is this the best 7-seater EV you can buy right now here in Australia? Well, we look at all that in this video. I must thank B Carwise because they were the only ones who had the Kia EV9 here at the Everything Electric Show, Fully Charged Live's premium electric vehicle show here in Sydney. And I had the chance of test driving this car in an extended fashion and also talking to their representative, Peter, with regards to what B Carwise do. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I just met them and they actually helped my mate get his first EV. They helped him get the Kia EV9 Air. And if you want to watch that video, it's also linked in the top right corner too. You can check that out to find out what he found from B Carwise. He was a guy who had no idea how to buy an EV or what EV to buy, and these guys helped him. Now, while you're at it, a sub to the channel will be absolutely amazing. Now, without further ado, Kia EV9, let's do this. The front face of the Kia EV9 is robust and it's fitting for a vehicle of this class. Remember, this is a 7-seater crossover SUV people mover, but even so, it looks beautiful in my opinion. It's got a 3-tone finish to it with a grey bar outlining the bonnet from the front face. And the front face is body colored, and below that, there is a black grille with all the sensors and bells and whistles. This is the Tiger Face LED light. Absolutely gorgeous. This was introduced by Kia a couple of years ago and now bled onto the Kia EV9 as well. It is bounded by thin strips of LED lights, adding to the gorgeousness of this vehicle. In addition to this, there is a little bit more in the Tiger Face in this particular version, which is this GT version. But even without that, the car looks pretty darn cool in my opinion. Coming to the rear of the vehicle, these slim LED rear lights complement the solid and robust looking nature of the rear of the vehicle, and I absolutely love that. There is a spoiler with an LED strip light which bleeds on to the rear windshield, stopping the rain from falling. I do have a rain-drenched test drive video coming in the later part of this video. Do not miss that. And while you're at it, a sub will be amazing. The side of the vehicle is unafraid to show what it is. This is a people mover, large doors with retractable door handle, and it has a tall design for people to get in and get off as well. Now, despite all this, this does have a drag coefficient of only 0.28, which is pretty awesome. Now, this is the retractable door handle in action. When you turn on the vehicle, it opens side view mirrors and it also retracts the handlebar. This is the side of the vehicle with all the doors open. You can see it's robust in its space. People can get in and get off without any problems. And I'm going to show you that in just a bit, particularly showing you the third row seats as well. Now, the cool part here is even the folks in the third row can easily deploy the second row seats like so. And that is what is important in every single design element in this EV9, practicality for a family to use. And that is why I love this vehicle. Now let's alight into the driver's side and I'll show you the cockpit. Yes, you can see that this is not a truly minimalist design. There are stalks and buttons everywhere. There is a stalk at the bottom end of the steering wheel for turning on and turning off the vehicle, and also a gear selector. I'm not sure if it's a great choice, but again, practicality. You don't want to be fiddling with buttons when you have family in your car, and you want all these to help you to make that a great family experience. The steering wheel is a flattened steering wheel with the top and bottom flattened. Lots of buttons to access a lot of things, including volume rockers, picking phone calls, voice command, and so on and so forth. And that is what this car is offering. Behind the steering wheel, you can see a large single aisle of screens, but it's not one single screen. There are actually 3 screens there. Just behind the steering wheel, there is a 12.3 inches driver display screen. Next to that is a 5-inch screen, and to the left of that, there is one more 12.3 inch screen, adding to a single aisle design. Lots of buttons in the steering wheel as well, like I showed you. Again, beautiful. The UI was super fast and it's a clean design. There are charging ports. Both are USB-C ports for charging your phones and so on and so forth. Quickly look at the center console. You have the customary water bottle or the cup holders. And there is a smaller box behind the cup holders to keep any smaller knickknacks that you want to have. There are buttons to activate a few things, including activating a 360-degree camera, and that again talks to the practicality of the vehicle. They thought about everything. This particular variant is the Air, or the lowest or the base variant, and even this has a lot of bells and whistles which is making this car a great buy. So that is the button to activate the camera like I showed you, and that activates and deactivates the 360 camera too. Pretty cool indeed, I must say. The bird's eye view also helps in parking, and I'll show you that in the driver's test. Don't miss that. Now there is a few other things that I'll show you in the next part of this video, because that makes it cool, because this is a touch sensitive capacitive button which is below the screen. Like I said, it's not completely minimalist, but it's not devoid of cool features, I must say. Now this is the Air variant, and this has the normal side view mirrors. I'll quickly show you the GT variant. There we go. This is the GT variant. Instead of the side view mirrors, there are these high resolution cameras, and mounted onto the side of the door are high resolution screens to display the camera as well. It works really well. It's flawless. There's not too much lag. I'm just moving the cameras around to show you that. And this is how the front looks in the GT variant with a more toned finish to it. Now, a quick look at the top of the vehicle from the driver's side, and you can see there are a few buttons. One of them is the Kia Connect to connect to your app. You can turn on and turn off the lights, and of course the SOS button as well. Now, if you do have the GT variant, it does have a moon roof, and that can be electronically controlled too. But in the other variants, it's just the Alcantara on top. Now, I do want to show you this particular key fob because it's made from recycled materials, and this is the cool part of the Kia EV9's dash design. These are haptic feedback enabled capacitive buttons to activate a few things. So you can go to the home button, you can do navigation from there, search, you can go to media, and there is a star where you can have a few things which can be mapped to that star or the favorite button, and then you can go into setup too from here. So this is not a minimalist design, but it's not devoid of cool features either. So that is why I love this vehicle. It has a cool mix of both practicality and minimalism with a robust, family-oriented outlook to it. And here I am demonstrating that it's quite easy to get into the third row seats. Press that button, the second row seat slides forward, and you can get into the third row. Remember, I am a large man, but even I found it reasonably easy to get inside. And as I'm going to show you in just a bit, the space is not terribly bad either. And of course, you can pull back the second row seat, and then here's the space. I do have a little bit of leg room and a little bit of wriggle room as well, as you can push this down or pull this up in the third row too, because it's a staggered design if you do not want it. Now, I do want to go through the website because there are a few other elements that I want to highlight. This is a 400 and an 800 volt architecture, ensuring rapid charging. But despite this being a 7-seater people mover, it is made for aerodynamics with a drag coefficient of just 0.28, which is super cool for a car of this class to achieve. Yes, you can have digital side view mirrors, but the ordinary mirrors do work great in the Air and the Earth versions, and I'll show you all the variants in just a bit. The integrated panoramic display, like I showed you, has those 3 screens, giving it a floating single screen experience, adding to the beauty of the cockpit. Now, this is important to highlight. The premium relaxation seats, they are ventilated and cooled. But even in the base Air version, the front 2 seats are both ventilated and cooled, which you don't see in many a base version out there. If you want to have the rest of them heated and cooled, you can add other versions. The fingerprint module gives a experience for the driver with all the driver profiles added to it. The exterior, strikingly beautiful LED geometric angle lights I showed you earlier are pretty cool too. Now let's do a quick 360. I'll show you all the color options. This is the ocean blue matte, and there are matte finishes for many of the vehicle colors. This is the Aurora black pearl, which looks pretty cool. But in my opinion, this particular flare red looks the best. It looks amazing. I hope a matte version comes in the future too. Iceberg green, not too bad. It is a cool color to have. And so is this Pantera metal. It's nice. And the pebble gray adds to the color. Now, if you are going with B car wise, you probably will be forced to get the white, which is the snow white pearl, because that is the car which will come in the sub $89,000 category, and it will be FBT or fringe benefit tax exempt as well. We'll talk about all that in the drive test. Do not miss that. Very important details coming up. Heads-up display is only in the GT line grade of cars. So is the digital side view mirrors. Fingerprint module is standard, the panoramic display is standard, and the center digital mirror is only the GT line. Meridian speakers, great sounding speakers, and the hidden touch bar with haptic feedback, really cool indeed. Ambient mood lighting is looking beautiful, and this column type gear shift with start button is there. Not a great choice in my opinion, but that's that. Sustainable materials like I showed you, including in the key fob, and Kia Connect comes standard with these vehicles. Okay, a few more things to highlight, particularly the dual sunroof, which is electrically operated as well. It is only in the GT line of cars. Independent rear air conditioning controls are a cool feature to have. The convenience features like park assist are only in the GT line of cars, and they come as a software update later on. The walk-in system is great because you can access the third row of seats very easily like I showed you previously. And there are multiple charging spots, including in the boot, to charge a large number of things. And of course, the luggage space is absolutely cavernous with 2,318 liters, and you can fold all the seats to make it into one cavernous luggage space if you want that. Now we'll talk about charging in just a bit, including the range in the next part of this video. But it does have Type 2 charging to use all your chargers out there, including the Tesla chargers. And this is a standout feature. The car has vehicle to load, and you can use anything outside of the vehicle, including maybe a Starlink if you want that. Again, a highlight feature is this vehicle is tuned for the Aussie driving conditions, and it's nearly noiseless, as you can see in my drive test, which I'll show you in just a bit. Protection features are inbuilt, and there are some of them which are only in a few variants, but I'll highlight them. The rear cross traffic collision avoidance is only in the Earth and GT, I believe. So is the highway driving assist. Autonomous emergency braking is standard in all cars, so is the blind spot view monitoring. Surround view monitoring is only in a few variants, so is the blind spot avoidance, and that you can see in the list of things that is available in each of the variants, and we'll talk about the variants in just a bit. Now let's look at the variants that are available with this Kia EV9. It is the Earth, GT Line, and the Air, with the Air being the rear-wheel drive single motor variant or the base version. The Earth is the dual motor version, but even with the Air, you can see 443 kilometers of WLTP range with a 76.1 kilowatt hour battery and 350 Newton meters of torque is not shabby at all, in my opinion. There is a large list of things that is included as standard in the base version. Now, if you take the Earth or the all-wheel drive dual motor version, it is 512 kilometers of WLTP range, 99.8 kilowatt hour battery, and 700 Newton meters of torque. If you get the GT line, it is 505 kilometers of WLTP range. It does have the 21 inches alloy wheels as standard and a few other knickknacks, including a 14-speaker Meridian surround system, which was gorgeous in my opinion. Let's look at the pricing. Now the price for the Air variant is $107,198, and the base color is still the red. I did tell you in the earlier part of this video about the pearl white, but that is only if you're going through B car wise. Otherwise, the pearl white is an added $1,000 on top of the red, and there are other variants which have about $1,000 as an extra add-on if you want to change the color. Of course, if you can change other trims as well. And so let's look at the variants and look at what the cost is. Like I said, the Air variant is 107,198 ex New South Wales drive away. The Earth variant is 120,408 ex New South Wales drive away. And the GT line is 140,200. These are not cheap vehicles by any stretch of imagination, but they do make sense if you are in the lookout for an EV and you want a family vehicle. This is perhaps the vehicle to buy at this time.
So how do you want to do this, Nash?
We'll just go for a quick spin and then come back and then
as we're driving, you just talk to me about the vehicle. We are in the Kia EV9 Air.
Yes.
And I have
Peter Antonazzi from B Carwise.
B Carwise, great car company, helping you get into vehicles, particularly EVs. In this case, the EV9. They have other vehicles on offer on the stands here at Everything Electric as well. Radio, you talk me through this. How do I start this?
So Nash, you just go down to the dongle down the bottom.
Yep.
Press
and
the
then
start button.
Press the start button, the EV button.
You press
yep.
that number, everything will light up like a Christmas tree. Great dash, great driving experience for you
Yeah,
there.
even when they unveiled the car, I was really impressed by the way the dash looks. This looks absolutely gorgeous. So I am in guest driver mode. Let's confirm that. And let me set my
Get your settings right.
Yeah,
and,
get my settings right. All that is perfect. And yeah, this is a great looking steering wheel, I must say.
It's a very you'll enjoy the ride. It's a very smooth, comfortable
100%.
ride. So
okay, so now first up, I need to back up a little bit.
Let's back a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
so
you've got heaps of room. So you just put it in
Just
reverse. You'll see the monitor. Yep.
Oh, so it's got creep mode. So if I take my foot off, it sort of creeps. Okay, great. And then I put it into drive, and then so this is the other way around, like the non-European versions. Okay.
That's right. We've got a car on our left. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
We're good to go.
Oh, okay. The creep mode is turned on. Okay, that's fine.
So Nash, there's a designated course, but you can take it for a bit of a spin wherever you need to go today. Just
we can do the designated course. That's fine too.
Right. So we're turning right. We're turning left over here, and then we'll get to the next intersection and take it right. Awesome. Go for it. So, look, thanks for popping by today. We're I don't know if you know much about what we do, Nash, but we're a national novated leasing company.
Radio.
We provide our services to corporates, non-for-profits, charities, big government entities, specialising with local government, and we're proudly being supported by Kia today.
That's
awesome. One of their Kia Airs, which is just a stunning vehicle.
It certainly is, isn't it? I need to just turn down the volume.
Volume will be on this side.
On this side, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
You can actually put that down altogether if you like.
Yeah, because I'll get a content strike otherwise. Yes. So, Novated Lease, yes, please. Okay.
So, novated leasing, it's really a buzz topic at the moment with
certainly
EVs, with the government FBT exemptions.
True.
You know, it's a really in-demand product.
That's true. For people who do not know, FBT is fringe benefit tax exceptions.
Correct.
Come with Novated Lease. That's a very important thing to remember when you're leasing a car, particularly an expensive car. You want to get the best bang out of the buck. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So through B Carwise, we had the ability to pay for a car that's under that threshold, which is $89,332.
Yep.
Totally tax-free.
Yes.
So it's a really effective way of maximising your salary, paying for a car and the running costs through your salary, and really getting good bang for your buck as an employee. So we have employers all over the country that utilise our services.
That's awesome, mate.
Yeah.
And now about the car as well, I must say it drives beautifully. I'm coming from a Tesla Model X family of cars, so this one is the car to look for if you are in the market for a 7-seater vehicle. And I must say this is driving really well. I did not expect a heavy, large vehicle to drive this smoothly, and I'm really enjoying the drive quality. Is the designated road? Do I take the left here, or can I go for?
You can go a bit further if you like.
I can. Yes. Thank you.
So Nash, I think one of the key things that people that have been driving this car is they've been surprised with its responsiveness. They've been really surprised about the handling of the car and how smooth the drive is. So obviously there's different modes. You can put it into normal and eco and a bit more of a sporty mode. But they've been really impressed with this car, and the queues that we've had to get into this car far away any of the other queues. So it's a stunning vehicle.
I agree, and I like this dark shade. I'm not sure if it's showing through from over the shoulder camera, but I like the way the driver profile is all in sort of a dark mode kind of a thing, and then the map comes up here. And I like that fact that there is a behind the steering driver screen as well. In most cars, they seem to want to remove this and only have one infotainment screen there.
Correct.
This one is a good touch. And if you are in a 7-seater vehicle with a fully loaded car with all your family members, probably screaming kids, you want to have a little bit of concentration on what's happening in front of you.
Straight direct. Yeah.
Yes, and this one really helps in that particular thing. That's really good.
I think it's a really simple info system as well, whereas these touch buttons actually take you direct to screens as well as the touch screen. So very simple system to use as well, which is typical Kia.
Yeah, and I wanted to point that out to people. I'll do some close-ups of this as well. So these are all capacitive buttons behind this, and there is a bit of a haptic feedback to them too. And let's go take this left and come back. There's a bit of haptic feedback to these, and that's really helped to give you a sensation of travel for these buttons. Although they are touch sensitive buttons, you do have a sense of travel because they have haptic feedback. Something akin to what you'd probably have experienced with the MacBooks. The trackpad of the MacBooks, they are digital, but they do have a bit of a haptic feedback to give you that sensation of travel and sensation of deploying a button. I can overtake, but I'm not. Okay, they're wanting us to overtake. That's fine. Okay.
I think actually the key thing with this car as well is with the exemptions that are available and our relationships with Kia, we can actually get this car under the cap, so people can actually novate the Kia Air as well, the EV9 Air, which will surprise a lot of people that it is accessible. It's fundamentally something that's available through the CarWise product, so it's really interesting that this car can be novated.
That is amazing, isn't it? Although this is a fairly expensive car, but it has got a bang for the buck. It does feel like a $90,000+ car, but if you can get this with novated leasing, that is the cherry on top, icing on the cake, I must say.
Absolutely.
I like that particular thing. That's great.
It will be the basic model.
It is the Air, of course.
To fit under the cap, it'll have to be the white one.
Yeah.
But we can certainly arrange that for our
and
customers, sure.
And you'll be surprised to know that many of the comments that I get on my channel, they are very clear that they want to buy the white, and then they want to spice it up the way they want to spice it up.
That's it.
By doing some sort of a wrap or some sort of a carbon fiber upgrade, something of that sort. They want to do it themselves, spice up the car themselves. They do like some interior options though, but I guess you can't get that with the novated lease because of the rate that the car is selling at. But still, it's a great first step, and it's a good piece of information for our customers as well.
Great bang for the buck for sure.
Oh, certainly, indeed. So we'll take the U-turn and come back.
I think we might need to, and then go back around the or turn. Can we turn right here? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Perhaps I just take the left.
Yeah.
Right, just to talk about the infotainment screen, it's super gorgeous. It's really clean, but it's sharp. It's got that high def quality to it. It is not a cheap looking screen by any stretch of imagination. The icons are large and easily visible as well as easily accessible. This is a touch screen as well. You can change modes. You can change your. I don't want to get a content strike, so I'm not going to play anything. But that's the audio player. You can have your own system here. Now, one question I get asked all the time: does this car have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay?
I'll come back to you on that, Nash, because
Sure.
I'm not 100% sure on the features of this model.
Fair enough.
But I'll let you know before we depart later on.
Great, and I think that this particular car is a good mix of touch and buttons. So it's not all touch, it's not all buttons. So some cars have like a million buttons everywhere. The only buttons you see is on the steering wheel and a few buttons here. Most of it is in the infotainment system, and that is a good in between. Some people don't like too many buttons, and some people don't like too less buttons, and this is like a in between, a good middle ground, I must say.
I think it's got the simplicity as well, isn't it? It really feels easy to navigate.
I agree.
Easy to understand.
Yeah.
And, you can just jump in it and drive it.
Certainly. And this squared off steering wheel sort of adds to that feel and travel. Shall we take this left? Do you reckon that way we can get back?
Yeah, let's do that, Nash.
Yeah, let's do that. So that you probably have more drives here. So come and experience it if you are in the market for an electric 7-seater. This is the vehicle to look for, because there's no other right-hand drive 7-seater in the market at this time, I'm afraid. So this is something that is gathering a lot of eyeballs, and even in the comments of my videos as well, I do have people asking me for the EV9 review. So that is something.
We're the only ones that have one here at the show as well, to allow people to have a test drive.
That's right.
So
Be CarWise. Just come and check out the wise car to get at 7 seats. Is the EV9.
fantastic.
Okay, now how do we get back?
We go straight here now, Nash.
Okay. I'll edit this part. So
And then we'll go left.
yeah. So this part will just be
Yeah.
a sped up drive right at the bottom of the road.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's okay. Just to give it a little bit of room. I know it's a 40-kilometer road. It's Saturday.
Just turn right now past these guys, so they just wave you through. There's no issue. And then just back up to the end.
Nice.
ID, that'd be perfect. I'll let you do your editing magic, Ash.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, final thoughts. This is a EV for a family. 7-seater, great space, great specs, not a minimalist design, but does have all the bells and whistles that you need, including some interesting features to it. Will it be a car for you? It's up to you to decide. But if you are going towards a vehicle of this caliber, at this range and this rate, maybe you may want to look at the novated leasing option as well. You can look at BCarWise or anybody like that out there. Maybe that will help you get into a 7-seater EV of your choice. Maybe it will be a Kia EV9. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd like to know if this is a car for you. I'll see you guys in another interesting video very soon. Until then, this is Nash from Tesla and the Gong, signing off. Peace.